Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy to be with you all today. Thank you so much for joining Allison and I. And we've got Jacki on the set today, too. So we're pretty excited to all be together again. Welcome to Three Themes Live, where theme number 1 is something to smile about. Theme number 2 is something to learn. And theme number 3 is something to discover.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back everyone to Three Themes Live. I'm Kris here at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and you know what? It's been a good day. It's been a busy day already, a really busy day, but I've got my friends Jacki and Allison here with me today, and guess what? There is so much energy in the room right now because this is the start of galas.
I know, so fun. Galas 2.0.
So we have some friends with us from all over the country. Yes, here's just a few of them. Oh, there we got our Virginia friends over there. We've got friends from all over Arizona, California, Texas,
Washington.
Let me think, where else?
New
New
Jersey.
Jersey. That's right. I mean, you name it. They've
Right.
come from all over, and they've descended upon Logan, Utah.
But you know what? I'm
They
really
did.
glad, Kris.
What's up?
I'm glad you're in the studio today.
Oh.
You need to share where you have been and what you've been doing
Oh, my
today.
goodness.
Exactly.
Well-
Jacki and I were on call.
You were, but I made it just in the nick of time because, you know, there's nothing like running down to Salt Lake City, which is an hour and a half away, and then coming back all in one morning because today was my last day to spend on Studio 5. For those of you who've been with us over the years, Studio 5 is a lifestyle show that is on KSL TV, and I've been doing it for 18 years.
That's amazing.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I remember when you started
That's older
that.
than me.
That's, oh, really?
Yes.
Well, you know, that it is very strange to think about. I mean, that is the age where, let's see, Rachel was just a little one. And she's my youngest. So it's been a long time, but Studio 5 is a show that is actually coming to an end. And so today was my last
Did you
day.
cry?
You know, it was a little bittersweet.
Yes.
You know, there's this
So
part
much
of you
work.
that says, wow, it's been a good 18 years, you know, doing it. But, you know, at the same time, there's, you know, change is always good too.
Right.
So, you know, it's bittersweet for sure.
Yes.
But it will air tomorrow. So anyway, I didn't know if I was going to make it in time, but we did it.
I know.
We were
and
on.
you two were ready.
We have been busy too, boss, because while you were gone,
Mm-hmm.
Jacki and I did a come and sold show,
Yes.
just a pop-up tent show
Oh,
this
did
morning.
you?
We did.
Yes,
I
we
didn't
did
catch
that.
that.
We
Yes.
did.
Well,
So-
maybe we should tell everyone about what we're doing this week with our
Yes.
virtual tent sale.
Yes.
Jacki, take it away.
All right. Well, this whole week we are talking about, instead of doing an actual tent sale, we're doing a virtual tent sale. So we have some amazing deals that we're going to be, you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
So we're going to be popping on, so make sure you turn your notifications on. And so then you'll be notified when we just happened to be there this morning.
Right.
Wow.
Good morning, wasn't it? It
Yes.
was, and it's
Wow.
really fast.
And it's
so
all this week.
it's all this
And
week.
it's free shipping all this
And
week.
exactly, Allison and I danced this morning about
Yes.
free shipping.
Oh, I missed
So,
it.
We
because
danced about free shipping.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was great.
you
It may
know,
not have been pretty, but it was a
But-
good free
but
shipping
we
dance.
did.
There's always an encore performance, I understand. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yes.
Never know.
Are you,
you
going to
never
break
know.
out? I'm saying right now, free
Free
shipping,
shipping,
free
free
shipping.
shipping,
Okay,
free
good.
shipping, free shipping.
All right, I like that. I mean, who doesn't love that?
I know.
Right.
Right.
And that's not only
And
on
it's all this
Comments
week.
Sold, but it's also on our website. So
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So
it is our virtual tent sale because we decided we did not want to be out in the hot sun
Exactly.
doing it. So it's for everybody, and it's just like as if you were right here in person because we are going to ship it to you for free.
But if
So-
you are in person, we do have something fabulous in the store as well.
That's right, we do.
So we have 25% off on all fabric
Oh, my
in our
goodness.
store. So
Very fun.
yeah,
And
Oh.
If you don't want to drive it the 3 blocks home, we'll ship it
Then
free.
we ship it for free.
There you
from
go.
the store.
Exactly.
true.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
Liz says the free shipping dance was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Liz.
Well,
yeah.
you know, you can always count on Liz for a good boost.
Yes.
Right. Our little cheerleader out there for
Yeah.
sure, always
Yeah.
cheering us on. Well, that's summer tent sales. You know, it definitely reminds you of summer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it does.
But so does all the red, white, and blue, right?
Yes.
It's the time for the family reunions, the parades, the fish fries.
Your favorite, Kris. I
Ooh,
mean, your
yummy.
fa-
You have the
I
worst
don't
two
know.
people to be
I
on
know.
our
What,
first
what
one.
am I sitting in? So you guys will all have to help me out just a little bit
Yeah.
because we at the Hoff House spend the entire first part of summer getting ready for the annual 4th of July fish fry.
Okay, you got to tell us more about it.
All right, so our annual 4th of July fish fry is something that we started. I did not grow up in a fishing family, just so you know, but I married into a fishing family. And so on the 3rd of July, which is when Cache Valley likes to celebrate a lot
Yeah.
of their 4th of July because they don't want to compete with the bigger shows.
That's right.
So they did it all on the 3rd. We have a huge barbecue where my husband and family, they spend the entire first part of the summer fishing like crazy. In fact, he's out there on the lake today, just
Wow.
doing the little last minute.
Uh-huh.
The kids come. We do decorating bicycles. We do a parade. We have a big barbecue.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the family
Oh,
likes
I'm
fish
seeing
fries
the
either.
parade
yeah,
right
look
there.
at this parade
Oh,
right here.
fun.
So they love to decorate their bikes and they ride them around the block.
so
And
great.
isn't that so fun?
Yes.
Yes. So they plan the whole week, and then
love it.
everybody is in charge of bringing their favorite recipes from a cookbook that my mother-in-law made.
Oh.
That is kind of passed down
Oh.
from generation to generation, and so we eat,
it's
we
a
watch
tradition.
fireworks. It's a tradition.
What a
Yes.
great idea! What a great idea!
Yeah.
Can we do, instead of fish fry, can we do French fries?
Absolutely.
I could do that.
In fact-
Sign me up for French
Me
fries.
In fact,
too.
I'm sharing
Exactly.
2 recipes out of that. The first one is for fish patties, which
Okay,
you can
can see it up there on the screen.
chicken. Chris,
Okay,
for you.
okay,
yeah,
So
okay, good.
canned chicken. So
Okay.
substitute your canned chicken, and
Okay.
you can just make these fish patties. It's one
Okay.
of that. It's kind of like the
Ooh.
good old crab cakes, you know, that they
sure.
do. So this has been passed down from generation to generation. And then my mother-in-law has a baked beans recipe that is to die
I could
for.
get behind that.
Baked
Yeah.
beans
And
remind me of
your
picnics.
mother-in-law is an amazing cook.
Yes, she was the head cook for Cache County School Districts at the Adams School for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And so yes, I am
Wow.
sharing that with
Okay,
everybody
so they
because
can
those are
find
just
out.
2. They can find it free on the website.
Okay, perfect. All right, just in time for the 4th.
Just in time for the 4th.
Oh, lots of
I love
reasons
homemade
to celebrate.
baked beans.
I know.
It does.
Oh.
It reminds me so much of picnics.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, so fun. Well, we'd love to see how you are celebrating your 4th. And I know we've been having some photos coming in.
Yes.
And we'll be sharing those tomorrow during theme number 1 of how all of you are getting ready for all the summer festivities. Always fun to see what everyone does.
It does.
Yes.
Just gain a little inspiration from all these
Yes.
different themes that's going on, right? Well, before we move on to theme 2, let's do a recap of something very exciting that we announced yesterday. So if you missed
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what all I can say is,
Oh, brother.
oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Like, oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
The mouse is out of the bag. Finally. Oh my goodness.
Yay.
What a blast we had yesterday
Yes,
on
wasn't
the
that
show.
fun? It was a party here.
Oh, it
was.
really was. You
I'm
know,
still reliving that yesterday.
we're very excited
And
about the
still
brother partnership.
Picking confetti out of my ears and hair. Just saying.
I did notice a little confetti, you know, adorning your hairstyle yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, for a little bit.
It was
great.
it was
It
everywhere.
was spot on. It was everywhere.
It was
We're
everywhere.
just the lucky ones that didn't have to clean it all up.
I know.
That's right.
Thanks
But
for the camera
thanks,
crew.
Steve.
I know.
All right, everyone. Well, too much fun. You know, this week we're going to be talking a little bit more about Brother. Today we've got a project that we're going to be sewing on the Brother Stellaire 2. And during theme number 3, I'm going to show you another aspect of the Brother Scan and Cut, which we're super excited about. And we just want to remind you, you do not want to miss Thursday night. Okay, all of you, you're going to be here Thursday, but don't miss Thursday night because it's our swig night, which we haven't had a swig night for a few months. And it's show and sell with the girlfriends. And so we're going to highlight some of our favorite Brother machines as well as the Scan and Cut. And one lucky person is going to go home that night with a Disney Scan and Cut
Oh, this is what I'm so sad I work here.
Yeah. And it's all
Yeah.
done virtual, so don't you worry. One lucky person at the end of the show, we're going to announce who's going to receive a free Brother Scan and Cut, the Disney version.
That's pretty amazing.
Right? So you got to
Really,
join
yes.
just to, you know, have
Right.
a chance to win because that is an amazing prize.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
I've already been talking up the Scan and Cut. I tell you, just ask these ladies that I saw already. I'm all about it.
Oh, yes, you are. Well, like I said yesterday, you see the bags that you should see the badge. She was hauling in from Hobby
I have
Lobby.
never laughed so
with
hard
all
in my
the
life.
stuff
Yeah.
that she's going to do on the Scan and Cut. It was pretty dang funny, but we are here for it and so excited. All right, friends. Well, we hope those scenes brought a smile to you today. We're going to head over to theme number 2, and you know, just because it's the patriotic season, yes, it's just right around the corner. We're going to show you a favorite ruler of ours. We're going to share with you a few different projects, and then stick around for theme number 3, because if you thought, oh, I love the patriotic, but it's really late, Kris, don't you worry. We've got a really good suggestion for you, getting set for the holidays in October, but using a patriotic design. What? All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Remember that 3 Themes Live is where we always have something to make you smile,
Something to learn.
and something to discover. Let's go.
This is called the Embroiderer's Helper by Dime. I'm going to use the curve of the ruler with the curve of the t-shirt, and I'm going to line that center where those buttons are. So now I have a line across the center. So that is going to be the center crosshair for my design.
Nice.
I've got the 2 marks on the sides, and I can line that up, and I still have my marks on the edges too, so that makes it a little easier. And then you've got the 2 marks top and bottom,
Okay.
so vertically.
How do I get it on my hoop?
Move the shirt out of the way. I have embroidered the back of shirts to the front of the shirts before.
Have you? How did that work
out? Not so well.
So we kind of pulled that out of the way, got it in there.
It's gonna be moving around, and so if you're not watching it, then
This is not the time to leave your machine.
not the time to go get a Diet Coke now.
Okay.
Welcome back, everyone, to Three Things Live. I'm Kris.
I'm Allison.
And we're going to show you one of our favorite rulers that is a must-have. I think everyone should own this ruler.
Right.
Okay.
I do own this ruler.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's so many rulers out there, right? And sometimes we get bombarded with all the different ones and we just feel overwhelmed, like, oh my goodness, can I find a ruler that can do more than one thing? Or what's the ruler that I'm going to use the most of? Well, I got to tell you, it's the Tucker Trimmer One ruler.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So half square triangles, combination blocks, quarter square triangles, which end up being hourglass blocks. It's definitely can be a game changer. And I want to show you this quilt right here because this quilt is one of our patriotic quilts from this year. It is an MGQS exclusive. And all of those stars were based off of quarter square triangles.
Right.
You know, so we're going to show you how easy it is to make them. Now, in addition to that, let's take a look right here. We did those same quarter square triangles, but this time in a table runner. Just took a linen blank from Kimberbell and then added some 3 quilt patches along the bottom on each side. So that's kind of fun. And again, this is the same idea, but smaller.
Right.
And these are quarter square triangles as well. And then we also have this girlfriend exclusive from this year. And this is not based off of quarter square triangles, but rather flying geese blocks as well as half square triangles. And so when it comes time to doing half square triangles, again, the Tucker Trimmer is just one of those go-tos that I am absolutely in love with. So I'm seeing in the comments that Deborah said she uses her Tucker Trimmer more than any other ruler. And I'm right there with you.
Boss. You know, I kind of do too.
Yeah, definitely. And Peggy said she has 2 of these rulers just in case.
Yes.
I think we can all understand
Peggy.
that.
Yes, we, Peggy, soul sisters. I mean,
exactly. All right, friends. So let's go ahead and take a look at this ruler. What makes it so special? So if you look down here at my cutting table, I just put a piece of white paper here so that you can see it a little bit better. This is a ruler that is, you know, a lot of people might refer to as a square up ruler, but it's even better because you have this line that goes right down the center, and this is the line that you use on every single block. Okay, this is that center line. And then you'll see on the diagonal that these are the measurements. So if you needed something like a 3-inch half square triangle, you would be looking for the 3-inch line. Let's say you were looking for a 5-inch half square triangle. You would be putting that on the seam of the 5-inch line. And you'll see a little bit more how this works in just a moment. But I also want to point out to you that on this side of our line, we have a full circle, which means all of these numbers are in full numbers. On this side, you've got the half circle. So what do you think, Allison?
That means that you can do half inch measurements on that as well.
Ding, 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 ding. All right.
I hate when I get the quiz on air.
I only ask the easy questions, right? Maybe not. I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, the instructions that come with it are ones that you don't want to lose. However, I lost mine. How does that happen? How does that happen, right? Yeah.
Have you seen her
I lost
office?
my instructions. Oh, touche. No, but the good news is this. Guess what? All you have to do is go on the line, and I searched for Tucker Trimmer 1 instructions, and boom, bada, bang, here we go. They were right there. I didn't have to pay for them, so I have instructions right there, which is very, very nice. All right, so let's take a look down here, and it tells you exactly what to cut your squares at and what you want your finished piece unit to be. So if you're looking for your finished piece unit to measure 1 inch, then you're going to follow the cutting instructions here, 3-inch, 4-inch, and so forth. All right, this goes all the way up to a 6-inch finished block. So what we did here was we took 4-inch squares. You can see right here, 2 of them. And that's my starter square for the quarter square triangles. And I'm gonna move on up because the 2.5 is what I want it to be finished at. Maybe I should say I start here and then I move on down.
Right.
Because if
Whichever's
I want a
easiest.
finished 2.5-inch piece unit, I'm gonna move on down to here. It tells me to cut 2 4-inch squares. Okay, so how does a quarter square triangle come together? And when I say quarter square triangle, a lot of people refer to it as an hourglass block.
Right.
So, all right. Right sides together. We're going to make this be as if it was going to be a half square triangle. In order to do that, you have a diagonal line from point to point and you sew 1/4 inch on both sides of the diagonal line. Now, traditionally, we would probably need to draw a line and then figure out where our 1/4 inch is on each side and do it that way. Or sometimes what people will do is they'll measure over and they'll draw your 1/4 inch line here and your 1/4 inch line here. So I'm looking at our audience out there. Which way do you guys do it? Are you drawing the lines and then go on the lines?
I thought Steve was going to answer the question. He's our cameraman.
Yeah.
He's like, look at the
Steve's
camera here.
raising,
He's raising his
okay.
hand.
Steve, do you have an answer?
That was a trick question.
It was a trick question. When you do your half square triangles, do you draw lines and then sew on the line? And then a 1/4 inch on each side, yeah.
That's what I do usually,
so that's
too.
what we usually do. But today, we're gonna show you on the Brother Stellaire 2 that you can use the guide beam. And so there is no drawing of lines.
I know, so
Go
nice.
ahead and do the honors,
Okay, so
Allison.
what we've done is we have set this up and we have moved our guide beam so that if we've actually moved our needle. So our guide beam is going to go straight down the center of this, and then we have moved our needle to the 1/4 inch position.
Oh, can I?
Yes, yes,
okay.
please.
It's actually, the needle is in the center position. Your
Guide
guideline
beam.
is over the 1/4 inch on your machine.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
So you keep that needle center position. Guideline is over the 1/4 inch, but you're going to use the guideline from corner to corner.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's
Sorry,
take a
I did
look
not say
there.
that right. Okay, so my guide beam is corner to corner
Yep.
here. And then I'm going to just keep that right corner to corner.
So a lot of you in the comments are saying that you also do the lines a 1/4 inch over. Liz says she draws the center line and stitches a 1/4 inch on either side. And Linda said her Altera too has the guide beam, and it's so handy.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes, so that guide beam, I mean, if you have this guide beam, it is really a game changer because it saves us so much time.
It really does.
Because as long as you keep that guide beam there, then you are going to get those perfect 1/4 inches on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. All right, very, very nice, my friend. There we go. You can see right here that we have a perfect 1/2 inch in between. That's exactly what we were going for. So now I'm just going to take the edge of a ruler and just cut straight down the middle. Now, at this point, you're going, okay, all right, Kris, that's a half
Big
square
deal,
triangle,
right?
right?
Yep.
No big deal. I will tell you this, though. One of the beauties of using the Tucker trimmers is that they actually have you cut a little bit more than you need. You piece it together and then you trim it, and that's what gives you a perfect
Right.
quilt block.
Right.
You know,
and that's
you don't have
what
to worry
makes
about it.
that ruler indispensable because once you get those perfect quilt blocks, you have
Yes.
perfect seams.
Exactly. So if I was just doing a half square triangle, this is what I would do. Let's say I wanted to do a 3-inch, for example, a 3-inch half square triangle. I would put the number 3 that's on my ruler, and I would put it directly on the sewn seam. Okay, not to the side, not across, exactly on the sewn seam. So there's my 3-inch. And then you can see here that I would trim. All right, I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to do the 1/4 square triangle. But if I were doing a half square triangle, that's how I'd do it. All right, and I love the rotating mat to help me do that. And then I would open it up. Now, sometimes what we do as quilters is we think, well, I'm going to open it up and then I'm going to trim. But I would invite you to consider this.
She's
If-
inviting me because I am one of those. I'm a sloppy ironer.
No. It actually has nothing to do with that. I promise. It actually what it is that I'm lazy. I want to be efficient with my cutting, and I don't want to cut around 4 sides. How's that?
Well, that's great.
That's a great way to
In
look at
theory.
it, right?
Yes.
So instead of opening it up and then having to trim all 4 sides, what I'm going to do instead is keep it closed, put my ruler on there, and then guess what? All I have to do is trim 2 sides. So just a little more efficient there. Now, that's with a half square triangle. However, if we're doing quarter square triangles, it does work a little different. For this, I actually will have Allison use your favorite tool in this sewing room, the ironing board.
Well, it was
And,
the hot glue gun, but it's my
There we
second
go.
favorite tool.
Exactly. And she's just going to press those seams to the side. Perfect.
Gonna use Darth Vader.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we've got the seams pressed to the dark side, and we have 2 half square triangles that have not been trimmed up yet. So to make your quarter square triangle, all you have to do is you're placing right sides together. You make sure the blue and the blue are on opposite sides, all right? And then if you could feel this through the screen, you would feel that these edges have been butted up against each other. Do not worry about how this looks a little ski-wampus on the outside because I promise it actually all trims up really nice. So again, you're just pushing these towards each other. If you want to pin, you certainly can, but you don't have to. And now this seam was sewn. Now we just have to do the opposite seam sewn. Again, a 1/4 inch on both sides. So we're going perpendicular into that. If you have your seams nestled together and they are butted up, you will have a perfect piece in the middle where both seams match up beautifully. All right.
Let me get one more side.
Okay, and again, if you were doing this at home and you had a whole bunch to do, you would just be chain piecing this all day
Right.
long.
Right.
All right. And again, we're gonna go, there we go, with the guide beam going from corner to corner. Okay, there you have it. Okie dokie. All right, so we're going to just trim down the center here, and then we open them up, and just like that, okay? And we're going to
Magic of
press
television.
those. So
I'm
we've
gonna press
already
those.
done
We've
that
already done
over
it.
here. All right, let's take a look. And now you have kind of a ski-wampus. I know, I keep saying that.
I know.
But it's a real word, you know that, right?
Right.
In the sewing room.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I think it's a real word in the dictionary. Would somebody look up Webster's, please, for me?
Ski-wampus.
Ski-wampus.
But this is where we have a block that doesn't really look that great yet. That's the answer, is yet.
Right.
All right, so I started out with a 4-inch square. I want to get it to a 2.5. So if I want it to be a finished 2.5, what am I going to trim it down to? A 3, right?
Right.
Because we're counting the 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'm going to take my common diagonal. That's what we call right here. And I'm going to make this 3.5, so I need to be on the half moon side. I place this down the center, and I'm gonna just do a little trim right here. It's like just a tiny little haircut.
Bless
Oh,
you.
please, wow, okay. And then I'll flip it around, and this time, I can actually use my 3.5-inch line right here, and it's going to line up, and my common diagonal right there and right there, okay?
And boss, I'll
now
have you know
we have the
ski-wampus is in
perfect
the
one.
dictionary.
Is it?
Yes.
How do you spell it? I don't even know.
I don't either.
It's one of those supercalifragilistic
Right.
kinds of words, right? All right. So very, very nice. Now I have a beautiful quarter square triangle or hourglass block.
Yes.
What do you think?
The perfect point. I think that is fantastic, and look how fast
Easy.
we got that done.
Yeah, it really
Now,
is very
if
simple.
only you had an assistant in your sewing room that could sew for you.
So for me, press all my seams.
Right.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? But it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think I'd want my assistant to be the trimmer.
There you go. But it would take the joy out of everything, right? All right. Let's see. Deborah is saying, wow, she's never thought of trimming that way. Nice.
Yes.
Good, good, good. And Mariella is hi from Eagle, Idaho. Hi, Mariella. Nice to have you
Yes.
here. All right. So are there any other questions about how the Tucker trimmer works? So again, you can use it for half square triangles. You can use it for quarter square triangles, which is how we did the patriotic quilt that we showed, as well as these little guys. So those little quarter square triangles are become your star points. Very, very simple to do. So love, love, love that. If you're interested in the ruler or the patterns for the patriotic quilt that we showed, or the patriotic pennant, or the table runner, you can find those as downloads, immediate downloads on our website.
And we do have a few kits left, just a few, so I threw those as
Oh,
well.
good.
When they're gone, they're gone.
Okay.
So, if you get the notify me when it's available, we probably don't have those again this year.
Okay.
But the downloads are available.
I'm really loving it has a little bit more of a modern vibe to
Right.
it. Would you say that, Deborah? I know Deborah and our audience is like huge into modern because we're doing solids, right? So of course it's going to be cute in any fabric, but I especially really like the solids on this one.
Beautiful.
So it is beautiful. Okay, Jane is saying super easy to make exploding heart hanging. Yeah, that's true too. That's a great quilt. Oh, cattywampus is what Liz said. Skiwampus for me.
Yeah.
Cattywampus. I don't know. There you go. Let's see. Peggy says the wall hanging was easy and the price was just right. Fabulous. We love hearing that. Okay, I'm hearing how the word is spelled. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Go for it.
W.
S-K-E-W-A-M-P-U-S. There you go. There you go. The origin of skiwampus is a blend of askew and cattywampus. The things you learn on here.
That Shelby's brilliant.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
All right.
All right, thanks Shelbs. Okay everyone, well we hope that you enjoyed that little tutorial on how to use this ruler. It really is an incredible ruler. It's so simple to use and it makes things so much more efficient with your sewing and your trimming.
Yes.
So, all right, like I mentioned before, if you thought that the patriotic was great, but maybe it's a little too late, don't you worry. We've got an answer for you right after this.
We are talking about a really fun technique called quilt as you go. You'll make your quilt blocks and you're actually going to quilt those, but you're going to stop your quilting about an inch away from the edge. And I'm going to turn my batting and my back piece and pin that. I am going to have you put these together and I'm going to have you sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Once we have that done, you're going to fold your batting right in here to the center. And then you are going to fold this one right in here to the center. Do you see how you have a overlap? Then I'm going to take my top and I'm going to fold this over. And then I'm going to fold my next one over. Once I do that, I'm going to turn this under a 1/4 inch and I'm going to pin. I want to turn this over and I want to see where my pins are lining up.
Okay.
You can just take and just stitch right down that edge.
Okay, let's see it.
Perfect.
Awesome. Last week week on Three Things Live, we shared the book West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge in our quarterly book club, and that got the wheels rolling in our heads.
And it did so in a big way. We debuted our brand new product line called Roam Free, featuring our new applique by number method, a revolutionary way to get your projects done.
This is the coolest thing ever. The Roam Free line comes with all of the pieces pre-cut and pre-fused.
So excited, just get it done.
Yes. Transfer onto your fabric. Put your pieces in place and set them with your iron. And it's so quick and easy, and it looks amazing.
So you definitely need to watch these shows to learn how this all works and so much more. Just click the links below.
Remember that Three Things Live is where we always have something to make you smile
Something to learn.
and something to discover. Let's go. Hi, it's Kris from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and I'm here to ask, have you started your Stitch Your Story blocks yet? If you're wondering what exactly is Stitch Your Story, let me share a few ideas with you. It is actually a movement that we are doing here in the year 2025.
It is the stories of those who came before us that ultimately help us understand who we are as human beings.
We're asking you to create a personal 12.5-inch unfinished quilt block each month. And it's according to a theme. And we're going to give you different ideas throughout the year on what the theme is and what techniques you could possibly do, because really there's no right or wrong way to do it. It is all up to you and your own creativity.
Today, my legend is a true legend.
Yes.
So I'm really excited.
There's no rules. We want you to have fun and try different techniques throughout the year.
Of
course, we
the
gotta have
legs can kick.
major 3D dimension going on.
It's even better than a picture, right?
All your questions could be answered by watching Three Themes Live every month. That is going to be your go-to resource for everything Stitch Your Story.
As you guys share
Right.
your stories with us, I've learned a little bit more about different people.
We want to celebrate your progress, so please, by all means, share with us your pictures, your stories, and you can do so by using the hashtag StitchYourStory2025 and hashtag My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop so that we can follow along on your journey to a complete quilt by the end of the year. All right, welcome back everyone to Three Themes Live. I've got Jacki with me. She
Yes.
swapped Allison out because we're talking scan and cut a
Yes,
little bit.
yes.
Aren't we? So fun.
I know.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
I'm so giddy, as if anyone can really tell, right?
Absolutely. And be
Yeah.
sure to stick around to the very end because we do have a sneak peek of what the bowl fillers are for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 25th of the month, and as you know, every 25th of the month during the year 2025, we have bowl fillers for $25.
And they
So
are darling. You
they
can't.
are pretty cute.
They are so cute.
You know, every
can't
month
you
I
find?
go, you know, it can't get any cuter.
But they
can't
do.
Get any cuter, but they do.
They
just,
really do.
It like celebrates a new month. It's so
Yeah.
fun. All right, everyone.
Yes.
So we just showed a demonstration on how to make quarter square
Mm-hmm.
triangles, right? And we were doing it, doing so with talking about this pennant, which is made up of half square triangles, which we use the same ruler for,
Yes.
as well as flying geese blocks on this one, and then on the other quilt had quarter square triangles. But I know a lot of you are thinking, Kris, this is like a week away, the 4th of July.
Yeah.
But
There might be
you
some
could have
people.
time. You still
Yes.
could have time to do one.
Me? No.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second.
I said no.
You could absolutely do it because
Yes.
it really is quick and easy and fast to do.
Yes.
But you know what? Whenever I look at a pattern, here's a little girlfriend tip for you.
It's a good one.
Always think beyond what the pattern is.
Yes.
Okay? Because sometimes we get set going, well, that is a patriotic banner, and patriotic, I'm done with that because I've moved on to August or September or whatever.
Yes.
But if we can use those creative juices, which is what we're talking about all this week, is the magic of creativity, right? Then you can look at this and say, ooh, I see something else for Halloween, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
well,
an FYI that there's some different colorways in the works
Oh.
for this same pattern.
Okay.
So
I can't wait.
Yes.
All right. So this is what we put together for you.
Cute. Isn't that darling?
It's just the same thing.
Yes.
But the rectangle has been switched out, right? So rather than a rectangle of stars, which is in here, right? And it's supposed to look like a flag. I said, well, what if we could take that same background, because I love the flying geese blocks there. What if we were just to move that rectangle down into the opposite corner, turn it in orange, and put a pumpkin face right on there.
I love it.
And now you
It's
have
so
a cute banner that you could swap this out, and now you have a new banner to hang from this cute wire, right?
And while you're stitching that out, you can stitch one for every holiday.
Every holiday. Ooh,
Yes.
what other things could you do? You could
A
turn
tree.
that into.
A Christmas tree.
You could.
For
So,
Christmas,
yeah.
you could put
You
a
could put any kind of
elongated
applique.
turkey on there if you wanted, or leaves. Maybe leaves would be really cute too.
There you go. So many possibilities.
I know.
You just never know.
I do that with machine embroidery designs as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try and think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Yeah.
It's way more fun,
And it's
you
great.
get more bang for your buck.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
All right. So that's how we want you to be thinking creatively on this. So what we thought we would do is show you how we could take that pumpkin face right here and cut it out on the scan and cut. Now, of course, this is pretty simple to do a tack and cut, right? But
But it was
why
it
not?
was more fun to do it.
On the
you know,
scan and cut. Exactly.
Just saying.
So yesterday we showed you how to cut paper on it. Today we're going to show fabric.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing you're going to want is this awesome mat. This is called the fabric mat. Now, Jackie, you do not have to have a fabric mat in order to do fabric, right?
Right. Because
Okay.
it just needs to be tacky enough. They do have another product that you can actually add to your regular mat to make it a little more sticky.
Yes.
So I think that's what
And that's
what's
called the fabric support sheet. So for
Yes.
those of you who have one of those and you're thinking, okay, what do I use this for? A fabric support sheet will make it a little more tacky.
Absolutely. But this is like the best. It
Yeah, you
it
can
works
turn
really
that,
well.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple different ways to do this. Either you can take your fabric piece, add heat and bond light, and those of you who've ironed heat and bond light on before, you know that when you peel off the paper, it reveals a shiny side, right? This is the shiny side, so this is the glue side. I've already removed the paper. This is the fabric side. If you do it this way, all you have to do is you place it right on there. Okay, and you would take your brayer. Jackie showed us this yesterday, even with the paper.
Yeah.
Just to get all the bubbles out, make sure it's all nice and smooth, right? And then go ahead and cut it out, and this will come right off. Now, this is really an important thing to remember.
It is.
Trust me, is everyone listening on this one? Because
Exactly.
I promise you, if you have a scan and cut, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You do not want to put the paper side down,
Right.
okay, unless it's already been peeled back. Because, it's a public service announcement, Abby adds. Public
Yes.
service announcement.
Yes.
If you put that paper side down on the fabric mat, you're not going to get that back up.
No.
It's way too sticky.
You're going to be so sad.
so sad.
Because that thing's going to stick.
And for
And-
good reason.
yes.
There's a purpose for that. So just know that if you're using the fabric mat and you want to have the fabric right side up, you certainly can do that. Just make sure you peel the paper off.
Yeah, because
okay?
then you don't have to reverse.
Exactly.
Then you don't have to reverse your design.
Exactly. Okay, so you can see that came off. The preference that Jackie and I have figured out for us is we actually like taking the fabric, putting the heat and bond light on the back of it, and then we have the fabric facing down. Okay,
Yes.
again, not the paper.
No.
So
Should we repeat that again? You do not put the paper
Side
down.
down. No, trust us on this. Been there, done that. All right. So I'm just spraying this on so that it's nice and firm against the mat. Okay. And obviously I have way more fabric here than I need to because I'm going to make 17 of these.
Exactly.
Right?
Or you'll use the other parts like to do initial or
Exactly.
something. You'll use it again.
Yeah.
You won't
Oh,
throw
yeah.
your paper away
No.
like I said yesterday.
Yeah. That's right. No way, Jose.
Yeah.
All right. So this is on paper side up. So now, because the paper side is up, do you all know what we have to do? I'm seeing this.
We have to
We
reverse.
have to reverse over here. So
Even
this is ready to
if
go.
you think that this is symmetrical, that it's there's not a right and a wrong. Oh, this is.
This one is.
And I would
It's just a little bit of a difference,
I would
right?
just get into the habit of always flipping your design just to make sure.
Just so you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do. And what's really cool about this is this started out as a PES file because
Yes, it
this
did.
was done on the embroidery machine. So we took the PES file,
Yes.
put it on a USB stick, and it's in the machine. Now let's take a look
Yeah.
at how this cuts out.
Okay, well first you have to bring in the design. And so we've got it on a USB, so we're going to retrieve the data. And we have these 4 different options, but we have it on a USB. So we're going to, there it is. And it actually brings in the trim and also the embroidery, the satin stitch. So I'm going to push on this. Okay, this brings in the whole thing. I'm going to touch the flower. I'm going to push OK. If I want to change anything here, then I can change the dimensions. But
Yeah,
when you're
obviously
doing
for the embroidery machine,
no,
we don't want to do
no.
that.
And some people say go up 1 or down 1, but I just left it.
Yeah.
I did not do anything else with it, and I push OK. Then it brings us 3 different options. Here's our satin stitch. This is our tack down. I'm going to choose the middle part, and I'm not going to make any. And then this is where you have to reverse right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a simple mirror image. We see that on our sewing
yes.
machines.
I will press OK. I will press OK. I will press, well, before we do though.
Let's scan it.
Let's scan it
Yeah.
because you didn't put this clear up to the
You're
part
right.
right up here. So let's scan it so that you can see what it would look like. Okay, yesterday I talked about kind of holding my hands on here. I'm going to load my mat. It's recognizing my mat, and I'm going to push this little scan icon, and it's going to tell me that it's going to scan. So I go ahead and start.
This is so nice because if you had multiple pieces of fabric on that mat,
Yes.
you would want to know exactly where those designs were going to go.
Yes. So if you're
And you
doing
can see that.
multiple pieces, if you're doing a
Yep,
bunch of
different fabrics.
or different appliques. So now that you can see the background, my face definitely is not on that fabric.
Oh, this is such a good image.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I
you
love
can
that.
actually see. So I'm going to just drag with my stylus, and I'm going to save as much as I can. So I will not go too close, but I'll put that up in the upper left-hand corner so
Perfect.
that see all of this extra, you can get your 17 in. Then
That's right.
I'm going to push OK. All right, so now we have to tell the machine that it's going to cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so we please select, and they say it so nicely, please select.
Please, yes.
And now all I have to do is push cut.
I love it.
Okay, and then I push to start, and then
Now, the great thing about this too, Jackie, is had we wanted to, try to preserve more fabric, we could have ungrouped that design and moved those triangles even closer together.
Yeah.
We didn't do that on this one, but you certainly could have,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Because if you wanted to use, get as much as you wanted of the fabric, just move your shapes closer.
yeah.
So Yeah, oh, the answer is Linda's question that just came on.
Yes, you can ungroup them. So, and then select each one separately.
And
So
just
you
leave
can, okay, and so now we're done. So now it asks me if I'm finished cutting, which I am, or if you want to do a next cut, then you go ahead and select the next part. But I don't want to.
Or say that you just wanted to make sure that it did cut all the way through. You could have it redone if it wasn't
Yes,
cut all the way
exactly.
through.
Especially if you happen to have half cut on there
Yeah.
and you forget to put it
Yep,
back to
yep.
regular. But I'm going to be finished and we're going to just say
Okay,
finish. And I'm
okay.
going to unload my mat
Perfect.
and then,
Oh my goodness.
okay,
This.
okay. And what is so wonderful about this is it also, because you've put that, the heat and bond or the on the back, it also kind of keeps it from fraying.
Yes.
So it does keep that from when you pull it off. Look how beautiful
Wow.
that is.
That
And we
is so
just
nice.
we didn't even use the fabric blade. So
no.
you can use a fabric blade if you would like.
Do this. And you can see here that this has already been embroidered, but you would, on your embroidery machine, it would stitch out the placement lines like
Right.
we're used to for applique. And then all you would have to do is you just peel back your fusible, right, to unveil the sticky. And just like a little puzzle, you just
Then.
put it on, take your iron, press it, and then let
then
the
you-
machine do its magic
And
again.
you can bypass the second step,
Right,
Because the
that-
next step is the tack down, and then you would have to trim around it. But then you don't have to do this. So this,
So
you
cool.
can just move to the last, where it will give you the satin stitch and then that cue.
I love it.
Wasn't that amazing?
I mean, so easy. And now it's
Yeah.
going to stitch all out
Yeah.
on your embroidery machine. So just a quick little way to show you that it works beautifully on fabric.
Yes, it does.
And it's amazing what you can do when you take those PES files and you move them over.
Yeah.
Now, someone is asking about the SVG files from Kimberbell Designs.
Yes, the same
you
thing.
could do that as well with the SVG files. If I had a PES file, that's the one I would personally prefer over an SVG file. A lot of people get SVG files mixed up. They think it is a cut file, but it's not always exact.
Right.
Right? So if you want absolute, make sure it's exact. Sometimes SVG files are great, but it's not necessarily a cut file.
Yeah.
So just move that PES file over. It's going to be absolutely spot on.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to do anything
Anything else? No,
Isn't
it's
that
great.
so fun? Oh,
It really is.
That's so exciting.
So think about this, guys. If this is something that you're going, okay, I could do that, then here you go. That was really simple to do, and it was based off of a patriotic pattern.
So do we have the smiley face available?
We sure do, yes.
Yes.
If you are interested in the smiley face design, applique design for the embroidery machine, it is for the 5x7 hoop, and you can find it on our website for just 99 cents, or it's free in the club.
Yay,
All right,
that's
so,
exciting.
yeah, yay.
So we're
let's
going to see, we want to see faces all over the place.
That's right. It'd be cute on a shirt.
Yes, it would.
You know, you could do all kinds of fun things with that face. It's kind of just can do just about anything with that. Yeah. So, all right. Birdie is asking, will you be holding virtual scan and cut classes? Birdie, I'm so glad you asked. Why, yes.
Yes,
Yes, we
we
are. It's going to be so fun. So, yeah, you can look forward to that all summer long. Jacki and I are doing Scan and Cut live, and a schedule will be coming out here very shortly, and it's for everyone
Yes.
to learn
That
some
will be
cool
so
things
fun.
that you could do with your Scan and Cut. So, yes, yes, yes. All right, friends. Well, we hope you enjoyed today. We hope you were inspired. And before we leave, guess what? We have a little sneak peek.
We have
I almost
sneak peeks.
forgot.
I'm like going,
Okay,
don't
bowl
forget,
fillers,
don't
bowl
forget, don't
fillers.
forget, don't forget.
All right, this is for the sewing machine or the embroidery machine. Ooh, which one do I show first?
I don't know, but they're so cute.
Let's show the chicken. Why not?
Okay.
We're going to start out with a chicken. There we go.
Isn't that so
and
cute?
The fun thing is, if you're doing it on the embroidery machine, you have 2 ways of doing this. You can do a blanket stitch on the embroidery machine, or you can do a satin stitch. So you can see the satin stitch here. We haven't stuffed that one yet, but there's our little chicken.
I love
this one.
That one is my favorite.
This is locally grown, and guess what? All of those letters have been pre-cut for you. Pre-cut,
So-
pre-fused. Can you imagine cutting that out? You know, when I was
No.
testing this, I had to cut it out myself. It was not fun. I'm
well,
just
I
here to
wonder,
tell you,
you make,
it was not fun.
you could do it on the Scan and Cut,
You
maybe.
certainly could. Yes, you could. So this is the satin stitch. This is the blanket stitch. And then the tomato seed packet.
I love this one too. I
So-
love them all. I think
yeah.
all 3 of them are so cute.
So there you go. There's your blanket. Here's your satin. So kind of fun. It has a farmhouse feel to it. And, you know, this is what's going to go on sale tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time.
Standard, yes.
They go fast. You're going to have to be quick at
Yes,
it.
you will.
But 9 a.m.
And
free
free
shipping.
shipping.
Free shipping this week, guys.
Yes,
So,
I know.
I mean, again, on the website as well as Comics Sold. And I understand we have another Comics Sold live sale coming up here very shortly. So make sure you have your notifications on.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We're so excited. We're headed over to Gala's. We got some
Yes,
sewing
we
to
do.
do, don't
Yes,
we?
we do.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Keep doing all the things you love. And we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.